Okay, real quick. I just wanted to do a quick update. I've never mentioned this on the here,
Hmm.
but a couple of days ago they had another primary for the 2024 presidential election here in the U.S. Okay,
Oh.
as it stands, there are literally only four candidates left, and to be honest with you, there's only one that I really want to win the candidacy now, and
Is Trump
she's
on it?
Trump is definitely still running.
Mm.
Again?
Yeah, well, here's the thing: he's actually winning the Republican side of things. Um, he is basically on the top
Wow.
of their list again. We have Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, who is leading the Republican Party, and
Mm.
his final, um, I guess, competition, Nikki Haley, who used to work for Donald Trump as the UN ambassador. She's also the
Mm.
governor of North Carolina, or is it South Carolina? South
And she's
Carolina, I
running.
think, and she's
Wow.
running. She's one of my favorites, to be honest with you, from the very beginning. Out of the Republican parties, I kind of at first started to support Vivek Ramaswamy, that Indian guy,
Mm.
and Nikki Haley. They were my two candidates. Unfortunately, towards the end of Vivek Ramaswamy's run, his views on things just got a little bit too much for me. He got
Hmm.
too strong, you know, to a point where it started to become or sound a bit. I wouldn't say vindictive, but there's too much anger behind it. When there's too
Mm.
much anger, there's not going to be a balance when you're of train of thought, I guess. But
Too
anyway,
emotional. Is
too
emotional the word?
emotional. Yeah. You're
Mm.
right. Nikki Haley is the remaining. I don't know if she's gonna win. I would love for her to win, being the first woman president. Her point
Right.
of view, yeah.
Hold on a second. How does this work? So they get voted out? How do they get?
No, they bow out.
They bow out
They
themselves.
bow out. Each candidate
Oh.
a candidate to become a party's representative for the presidential election, because there's only one Republican and one Democrat that could be running, or there could be three, meaning a third party independent. Um,
Mm.
I think they need 1,270 delegate votes. Delegates are, to sum it up, they're like each state's representative for each
Mm.
county or whatever, or each whatever. And those are the
Mm.
votes that counts to be able to have a candidate. Um, as the election approaches, each candidate basically bows out, or some candidates
Mm.
bows out because they know they're not going to win, because
When
they're
is it going
not.
to be again? The elections
November 5th, I believe,
this year.
this year. And
Okay.
then there's no more third party or independent runner. Obviously, the current President Joe Biden is running for re-election. Dean Phillips, I believe, is another Democrat. I'm not sure from what state he hails from, but his point of view is good. But I don't think that he's going to be a strong candidate for the Democrats. I believe it's going to be the current president, President Biden, that's going to be the definite
So
Democratic candidate.
are you at liberty to mention who you're going to vote for so far?
See, I haven't made a stance if I'm a Democrat or a Republican, because I see both sides. Both sides are effective. Both sides do have great factors. I have no choice but to look at it from a citizen's point of view. You know, how is it going to affect me? How is it going to affect the future of my family? How is it going to affect the future of my kids? Sad to say, the last two presidents has not made a major effect in regards to that, especially for my family. The current president, unfortunately, is just making things harder for us. In a way, right now, I really want Nikki Haley to hail as the next president of the country, for personal reasons that I do not want to mention, because one, I don't want to get bashed in here. You know what I
Because you're
mean?
too embarrassed to admit that you like Donald Trump, really?
You know what though? I don't like him as a person, or not as a
Mm,
person, as a president. But he
mm,
was not bad in comparison to the current president. There was certain things that was bad that happened,
mm,
but in the grand scheme of things, in comparison to the how the country is running right now, economically, for the people and whatnot,
mm.
you know. But yeah, so I don't want to dabble into it too much, but that's that. The next primary, I believe, is in early March, and we'll see what happens.
Why'd you
Yeah.
bring it up though? What was the whole point about talking about the elections that you wanted to
Well,
mention? That yeah, that was a nice little visual, by the way.
yeah, thanks. I
That
I brought it up because I just wanted to give a quick update and whatnot, because it's
thanks,
getting
like you
close.
came up. Thanks, like you came up with it.
No, I
No,
have,
but
this is my first, I've been here for 3 decades.
oh, you're excited to vote.
This is the first time that I am going to be able to partake and participate in a presidential election,
You know,
and I am excited. I am excited. I
Filipino
have
voter.
I have followed some of these candidates and whatnot,
Oh,
and I'm very excited to be part of this. I wish I would have done it and be able to vote for Obama or former President Barack Obama 8 years ago.
mm.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. But now, as a U.S. citizen, oh, can't wait. I'm excited.
Do we
I'm
have?
proud.
Do we still have some time? I wanted to ask you if there's like a 1 minute version, 2 minute version for us Filipinos that don't understand really how this whole thing runs. You want to like simplify it for me, for us
What do
Filipinos,
you
because
mean,
I
the
know it's
presidential
not.
election?
Yeah. My only question is this whole Republican Democrat thing. Do you have to choose a side?
You don't have to really.
I mean, is
It,
that part of the Constitution? The whole Democrat Republican thing. Is that even on paper, or is that just like a ganun in? It just became a trend.
Yeah,
Either you're
it's there's
Republican
always
or
been two
Democrat.
different parties as far as I know. But there's also the third, independent.
Mm,
Um, as far as the Constitution has started, Democrats and Republican has always managed to. It's always been them, basically.
yun nga.
That
So
governs.
it just became parang culturally accepted that
Yeah,
you're either side.
a Republican or a Democrat. Now, do I want to announce what I am? No, because
Mm-mm,
I see both sides. You know.
mm-mm. Yeah, somebody was explaining it to me in the parang it helps sort of categorize you of which way you're thinking.
Yes, in a way, but it doesn't apply to me, because I'm a very I can understand the Democratic liberal side, but I can also see the Republican conservative side because
Mm-mm,
really they both work together. It should apply equally in both to each of our lives because we can't always be conservative. We can't. It's just not going to work because you're closing yourself out.
So
But if
between
you're
left and
too,
right, would you be center?
probably, I don't
Mm.
know. To me, the way I'm looking at it is I'll decide last minute if I'm who I'm going to vote for based on who I believe is going to be a good candidate. May it be a Democrat or a Republican.
I
Maybe
think
I'm
that's
too scared
why
to make a decision about it, or I don't know.
I think that's why Filipinos are just more lighthearted and chill about these things because I mean in general, well for I guess I could speak for myself because it's
Hmm.
not so like left or like right. Like we'll see. Just be
W-
center.
Well, no, that's the hard part of that. If you're there, that's a completely different topic. Now, in the Philippines, if they have more structure in regards to the, I don't know, is it Republicans and Democrats as well in the Philippines?
No, that's not what we call it.
What,
I
what,
don't
what
think
are they?
there's even like there's I don't think it's even called like liberal or what's the opposite of liberal or conservative.
Conservative.
We're not even conservative or liberal. It's like it's more like I don't
Well,
know. How do
see,
we
having these parties basically builds more structure in a way. Do
mm,
you just want for the next 4 years to have a more liberal structure, or do you want to have a more conservative structure for the next 4 years until the next president? Do you see what I'm saying?
that's a nice way to put it.
Right
Yeah.
now, in the Philippines, if their government is, if the government in the Philippines creates more of a structure as opposed to more individual train of thought or individual policies that they want to abide by or create and whatnot, there would be more order, more structure. It will be easier to execute a law. It will be easier to to guide the law. You know,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
there needs to be
Yeah.
proper structure.
Yeah, I
I,
see what you mean. How it
I
doesn't.
I'm definitely not qualified for any of these things that I'm saying, to be honest with you, but they're my opinions. So
No, but I see what you mean about how being psychologically happier, that kind of
mm,
thing is it doesn't apply to the structure that you're talking about because
right,
it's a totally different. Great, it's apples and oranges, but yeah, yun nga, it's like um yeah, like moving forward. You're right. Like you said it so eloquently already. Na yun nga. So moving forward for the next 4, 5, 6 years, do we want to be more conservative or do we want to
mm,
be more liberal or progressive
right,
about our laws and how the country is going to move forward?
right.
But no, we don't. That's You're right. That's not how we think about it here.
And then for the the Philippine presidential stature or time frame and whatnot, with the government putting it at 6 years and one term and not being able to run for re-election. I understand there's history that they were trying to avoid and they're trying to protect the country, which makes sense. Okay, but 6 years, one term is not enough to have that major of an effect. You know, there are two present Philippine presidents that I believe made major contributions and effect to the country thus far. That would be Ramos, Fidel Ramos, and Duterte. As you can see, they're completely different structures, different point of views, and different policies that they projected. Now, um, is 6 years enough? I mean, one term, 6 years enough? No, I don't think so. Should they follow 4 years, two terms, two possible consecutive terms? I'd probably go 5 years and be able to run for re-election. That gives somebody enough time who may possibly have a good view on how to do things to do something about it, right?
Yeah, if we
I,
like the guy.
exactly. But at least give them the time. 6 years is not enough. 6 years
Mm.
is not enough.